Hey Opties! Today we're going to be talking about point-slope form of a line. I personally probably like point-slope form the best because it's probably the easiest to apply. However, it's probably the most new or unfamiliar one to you in terms of all of the types of ways we can write line. So let's look at the formula. X and Y are the unchanging variables in the equation. M is the slope, and it could be given to you, or if you're given 2 points, you can simply find the slope. X1, Y1 is a point on the line. It's just 1 point on the line, but you can use any point that's on a line and use it in the point-slope formula. Because lines do have only one slope, but they have lots and lots of different points on them. So if you're given more than 1 point, just pick one and use it. Here's a little point to ponder for us. Notice that our equation is y minus y1, so y minus the y coordinate, and it equals m, which is the slope, times the quantity, so times all of x minus x1, which would be x minus the x coordinate of your point. So because it's got a minus on your point coordinates, so your x and y pieces of your point, that means that whatever your point is, it's going to swap signs when it goes into your formula. So if your point is 1, 2, then it's going to be -1 and -2 in the equation. So just keep that in mind when you're working problems with point slope. Let's take a look at some practice. Number 1 says line M contains point 51 and it's perpendicular to the line y plus 3 equals -3/2 times x minus 6. What is the equation of line M in point slope form? Okay, so the first thing we want to do is make sure we have our point slope form down. So let's write y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, notice it says perpendicular, so we have to find the opposite reciprocal slope to the slope of the given line. The slope of the given line is whatever is the coefficient of your parentheses, so it's going to be that -3/2. So -3/2, let's make it opposite, so now it's a +3/2, and now let's make it a reciprocal, which would be flipping your location of numerator and denominator, or swapping that location, and now we get 2/3 as our slope. Okay, it's really easy now. We have our slope, which is 2/3, and we have our point. It's x1, y1, and that is 5, 1, because that's one of the points on the line. Remember, we can use any point on the line. So now we simply substitute y minus this y value. Notice I put the minus before I even looked for my y value to make sure I don't make a mess up. Okay, so that's a good thing to do. So y minus 1 equals the slope, which is 2/3, times x minus the x value, which is 5. And that's it. That is the equation of line M in point slope form, and it's perpendicular to that given line. Number 2, what is the equation of the line parallel to the line y minus 4 equals -5 times the quantity of x plus 4 that passes through the point -2, 11 in point slope form? Same process. The main thing that's different is this says parallel instead of perpendicular. And it's really actually easier because remember, parallel slopes are just equal. So you don't have to do anything different than just finding your slope of the given line. You don't even have to change the slope at all. So it's really simple. But let's go ahead and write down our point slope form. Y minus y1 is m times x minus x1. Okay, remember, y and x are unchanging, m's your slope, and x1, y1 is your point. So the slope of our given line is this -5. See how it's m, it's setting right next to the parentheses? That's our slope. So our slope, m, is -5, and our x1, y1 is simply the point that's given to us. That's -2, 11. Okay, so y minus the y value, which is 11, equals -5, which is our slope, times x minus the x value. So now you see how it could be tricky with your sign changing. We're subtracting a negative number. We're subtracting -2. So for our final equation, we need to simplify what's inside of our parentheses. So now x minus -2 is the same thing as x plus 2, and we're done. This is your equation, parallel to the given line through that point, in point slope form. Things that could be tricky and people mess up on is they don't put the y with the y, but they might put it with the x. And I can see why if you're thinking it's xy, so you might accidentally put your x first because it comes first in the equation. So be wary of that, like make sure you don't make that mistake, and maybe just find the wrong slope. So pretty straightforward, and that's it for point slope form, y'all. See you next time.